Hi, it's Xavier and welcome to my bonsai retreat, and we're definitely right at the latter stages of safely doing our normal repots. And guess what? This is a time when I start looking through all my cuttings that have been squirreled away at different places in the garden and decide which ones are going to come out and at least get put into some normal soil, into better pots. This is absolutely littered with everything from Italian Alder. We've got Trident Maple, silver birch, that really interesting dead thing with a feather on it. Got some beautiful weeds, definitely Chinese Elm, more Trident Maple, buddleia, and dandelion weeds. And again, this is when I talk about how I do my cuttings. I literally have a container like this nearby, and whenever I fancy it, anything that gets off cut, certainly when we come up to the middle to end of May when I do my pruning, then just gets dumped straight into there. What lives, lives, and what doesn't.
You are so mean.
But you know, I thought I wanted to make this a little bit different, a little bit special for someone, because you know, I've got an incredible community that take the time to follow some of the weird stuff I do. And yeah, I know I'm not technically the best, but do you know what? I get a feeling that I may closely resemble many of you in the way you deal or try to get on with this bonsai hobby we've got. And in particular, I get some really nice messages and in words of encouragement. I'm going to draw attention to one, and it's a message that came from, I believe it's Kamil Grabowski. I'm guessing Poland, but if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, and if I've got the pronunciation wrong, again, big sorry. In fact, if I've got the pronunciation wrong, can you do a phonetic pronunciation in the comments? But in a comment that Kamil put on a video way back, mentioned that, again, is it his or her?
He's struggling.
Their 4-year-old daughter, Gaia, or Gaia, Gaia, I believe, likes to sit and watch. I betcha that she has the best time because she doesn't have to listen or understand my dribble. She can just watch all my very, very funny and amusing faces and amusing trees. Anyway, what I promised is that I was going to pick one of my sort of 3-4-year-old cuttings, get it out, prune it up and everything, and pot it, and it's going to become Gaia or Gaia's tree. And if she's ever over here with her family, then she can have it. And if there's any way at all that I can find to send it at some point in the future, I will do so. But it's just my way of saying, again, thanks. I know there are so many out there who are supporting me and really making this worthwhile, that, do you know what, every now and then I find one that pings at my strings, so to speak, and off goes another nutty idea. So anyway, I'm going to find one. In fact, I'm going to pop all of these up, and at the end of it, I'm going to ask Gaia or a member of her family to say which one they'd like put aside and developed as her tree. So let's get this stuff out of the bucket, shall we? Because I imagine it's pretty well in mud. So what I've done, cut that in half, literally, and hopefully I should be able to just lift half of this out. Well, not quite what I thought, but enough that I can cut this down. So, should we do this bigger one first? Oh no, I've got another big ton of roots here. I guarantee most of that's from the Italian Alder. I can't believe it, I cleaned this whole area yesterday. Now it's going to be mud city. Again, bobcat root rake. Okay, so really, let's just rip this. And it is, you can see from the soil, we're not talking any sort of high quality bonsai soil at all here. Literally, it's just dirt. And at this stage, there doesn't need to be anything more. It just needs to develop some nice, healthy, strong roots. This Trident Maple looks pretty good. So let's just cut that there. Okay. Probably just need to reduce the height on that a little bit. Okay, that's one. Got a little bucket of water down here, by the way, because this will take a little bit of time. Okay, so what we've got here, another little Trident like a Chinese elm. Already got a nice spread of roots on it. Just get rid of that one there. Not sure I'm going to try for a root cutting from that little thing. Okay. Very interested to see what this is going to be like. That's Italian Alder. The silver birch in there. Let's get that up. There we go. That's the silver birch. I imagine this Italian Alder is going to have some pretty heavy, hefty roots on it actually. Okay, let's try the maple. Can I do a cutting with that? Of course I can. I'll have a little thing of soil beside me and it'll just get plonked straight in. Now I did an episode on what I thought were the most surprising best choices for bonsai for beginners, and actually Italian Alder came in as one of them. Yeah, I find Italian Alder to be very, very easy. They back bud well, very, very forgiving. So I think we'll make a decision straight away. 1, 2, 3. Get rid of that. These again, I could stick them straight in the ground and probably have a lot of success. And we'll just cut that down a bit. There we go. Right, there's our main root plane, so we don't want this one up here. That one there. Underneath, we've got a little thing there. I mean, okay. Right, that'll look now. And for those of you saying, is that going to survive? I've absolutely no idea, but do you know what? It's made it this long in my garden. I'll put it in some nice soil. We'll see how it gets on. So that's 4 from that group. Loads of carnage. I'm going to clear this up. We'll get the other. There's a buddleia. In fact, it's two more Trident Maples. So I've got 4 really good Trident Maples in that group. Very happy about that. Well, that was a pretty mucky job, and I've got a pile of mud down the bottom of the garden. But I have got some definitely good cuttings. I mean, you think about this. Chinese elm cutting. I probably took it 3 years ago, and already pencil thickness, loads of radiating roots. I'm really not going to do very much with it apart from putting it into a pot with some nice fine grit soil. And this buddleia, which truthfully I'm not a great fan of. You know, I've got a few of them. Well, you see how minimalistic, I like that word, the root system is. Let's see what happens with it. So let's get these going. I mean, the root system on the Italian Alder, got little ones down there. I'm just gonna and the thing about it is, should I have done it earlier? Yeah, should have. Probably before this stuff budded out, but so much to do. It's cutting, so you know, if they don't take, they don't take. I mean, they've already got loads of roots, so very, very happy. Let's get these into some pots. Okay, there's 2 of the Tridents there. Got some higher roots there, which I would never want anything developing from, so we'll get rid of them now. I'll bury it deep, see what happens. Would I use a pond basket normally? Yes. Have I got any left? No. So these are training pots. And this Trident, truthfully, I'll probably cut it even lower. There's no point having all that branching up there. It hasn't got a big root system right now. We just want enough that it's going to try and put some energy down there. Don't want the birds pulling it out. I'll water that. That's cutting number 1. Second one, again, a little bit high, but roots will develop all the way along here. I'm going to bury this one a bit deeper actually, because truthfully I could do with the roots being a little bit higher up on this, but anyway, it's just cutting. So I'm going to pot up the rest of them, and then I'll have a look and show you what I've got, plus a couple I did yesterday, and then Gaia, you can pick which one you want. And just thought I'd come back to this one, which is the Buddleia. You know, I don't know whether it'll make it or not, but what we don't want is all this stuff that's up here. So I am literally just going to cut this. And see what happens with it. Now I've done this sort of extreme operation on these things before. There's a lot of life actually within the branch itself, the trunk itself, and it may well send out lots of new buds lower down, which is what we really want. Right, well, I went in for a bit of lunch, and here we go. This is all of them. There's, say, 1, 2, 3, 4 Trident Maples. Something here which I'm absolutely no idea what it is. Very, very fine leaves. It almost looks like a hawthorn leaf, but don't think it's a weed. The Buddleia at the back, and the Italian Alder, Chinese Elm there, silver birch, and I don't need loads of cuttings, but just for the sake of finding out, cuttings of Trident Maple, Chinese Elm, and the Italian Alder, and just they'll literally just go into the corner of the garden, and I'll see what happens. So that's the ones that I picked up from that great big load that were brewing away for the last couple of years. Gaia, or a suitable member of your family, by all means, you're happy to pick any one of these here. Obviously the Tridents are always the better ones to go for. That looks pretty good. And if for whatever reason the roots don't take, if for whatever reason there's a disaster in the retreat, then I'll show you what else is also part of this selection and has been growing on nicely. I mean, seriously, the system does work. These have all been cuttings that have been potted on the same way that you've just seen in that Mad Mayhem. I mean, these are now definitely 5 years old probably. These will come out of these today, as will this one, just to stop the roots circling around, so I can try and get some sort of decent root spread. That was put in this pot last year, again cutting, and well, to be honest, I could put that into a reasonable bonsai pot and it's probably ready to sell. In fact, someone would probably want to buy that now. I've also been mucking about with Hazel a little bit, and this one was potted up again. It's an old self-seeded Hazel plant that was dug up a few years ago, left in a container like that, and now potentially it's going to create quite a nice little bonsai. This is all stuff for nothing. This one I actually got this year, and again it was surrounded by a load of trees in a planting somewhere, and potentially a little twin trunk there. So, you know, it doesn't have to be expensive bonsai. It really doesn't. What it does take is time. But if you don't start, you're never going to get to the point where you can actually go, I'm really happy with what I've got. So, from Xavier, I hope you've enjoyed my little rummage through my cuttings bin, and hopefully, Gaia, you're going to enjoy this sometime, whichever one you pick, and trust me, if any of those die, you'll get one that's alive. And I'll be more than happy to host your family over here. If you do ever get over here, just drop us a line. Apart from that, if you've enjoyed this, liked it, or want more or similar to this, then big thumbs up. If you know anyone that perhaps wants to visit the bonsai retreat, then share this and let them know, because I do take visitors regularly. I rarely turn people away, apart from no visitors on a Sunday for religious reasons, and generally I like it to be through the weekday. But hey, drop us a line on my expressionsbonsai@gmail.com, or just put a note down in the comments. Apart from that, if you haven't subscribed, please ask you to humbly subscribe. It helps me because it gets the channel out to more people. And apart from that, happy bonsaiing, all the best for your cuttings. Never ever waste a potential tree. And remember, a few years goes by quite quickly. I should know. Cheers.